and welcome to No War Zone. This week, we focus on Sri Lanka's presidential election 2010. As we have read, heard and seen in the media in the past few weeks, the competition has been ugly and badly fought on both sides. And despite the election being over, the contest for supremacy continues with the country's public caught in the middle. In our first story this week, we give you a rundown of events in Colombo from polling day forward. Take a look.
Sri Lanka's sixth presidential election came to an official end when Elections Commissioner Dayananda Dissanayake announced the final results on the evening of the 26th of January 2010.
ජනාධිපති මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ මැතිතුමා 60,15,934ක් ඡන්ද ලබා ගැනීමෙන්ද එම ප්‍රමාණය මුළු ඡන්ද ප්‍රමාණයෙන් අඩකට වඩා වැඩි හේින්ද 50%කට වැඩි හේින්ද 58 ගන්ති යටතේ නියමානුකූල අන්දමින් තේරීපත් වූ ජනාධිපතිවරයාට මම ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා.
In addition to announcing the final result, Mr. Dissanayake spoke of his lack of control over a number of matters relating to security. Nevertheless, the result was final. Incumbent executive President Mahinda Rajapaksa polled a stunning victory, receiving 57.8% of the votes, while 40.1% went to his chief opponent, former Army Commander, retired General Sarath Fonseka. The other 20 candidates did not do too well. All of them lost their deposits. Polling day came at the conclusion of an ugly election campaign, characterized by hundreds of violent incidents, blatant corruption and conspiracy theories aimed at defaming both sides. Despite this, on election day, people came out in their numbers to cast their vote, to play their role in upholding democratic practices and to state their individual choice for Sri Lanka's future leader.
Whoever becomes a president, well, I have an opinion for someone, but whoever it is, that they will bring peace to the country and they'll do the right thing, right? They'll stop violence, because it seems like even after the war still there is violence, so if they can do something about it, that would be great.
කවුරුපත් වුණත් ඉදිරි සාමකාමී තත්ත්වයේ තිබිලා යුද්ධයක් නැති වෙලා රට සංවර්ධනය කරන්න ඕනේ. සෞභාග්‍ය කරලා ලංකාව කියන නම ලෝකෙට ගෙනියන්න තියෙන අවස්ථාව තව වැඩි කරගන්න.
While the voter turnout in the north was less than 20%, the rest of the country saw a turnout of 74.5% of some 14 million registered voters who cast their ballots in 11,000 polling booths across the country.
உண்மையிலே வரவேற்கத்தக்கது. ஏனெனில் லெப்டினன்ட் ஜெனரல் சரத் பொன்சேகா தலைமையிலும் ஜனாதிபதி மஹிந்த ராஜபக்ச அவர்களின் தலைமையிலும் நடைபெறுகின்றது. இருவருமே பொது வேட்பாளர்கள். எங்களுக்கு யார் வந்தாலும் பரவாயில்லை. எங்களுக்கு நல்ல நாட்டை கட்டியெழுப்பும் தமிழர்களுக்கு உதவி செய்யும் நல்ல வேட்பாளர் தான் எங்களுக்கு தேவை.
கருத்துக்கள் யாவும் நன்றாகத்தான் இருக்கிறது. ஆனால் மக்களின் வாழ்க்கை செலவு தான் அதிகமாக இருக்கிறது. அதனால தான் அதை யோசிக்க வேண்டியிருக்குது. அது குறைந்தால் மக்கள் எல்லோரும் ஒற்றுமையாக இருக்கிறார்கள். ஆனால் முன்னிருந்த நிலைமையை விட இப்போது நல்ல நிலைமையாகத்தான் இருக்கிறது. மக்கள் போக்குவரத்து நல்லது. அவர்கள் போய் வரக்கூடியதாக இருக்கிறது.
As people awaited the results of the voting, the paranoia that existed on both sides during the election campaign manifested itself in the aftermath of the election as well. The 27th of January saw the development of an unusual situation. Troops had surrounded a hotel in Colombo where the joint opposition candidate had set up office along with some of the other opposition leaders backing him. The government said it was because retired General Sarath Fonseka was harboring deserters, betraying the state and planning assassinations. The joint opposition dismissed these allegations from within the hotel.
I believe that this course of action is unwarranted and unnecessary and creates needless panic and excitement. as a responsible government, this matter could be dealt with in a very responsible and in a fashion so as not to be seen to be intimidating. So I would rather appeal to His Excellency the President to show some magnanimity in victory and to ensure that proper democratic freedoms are ensured for his principal opposition candidate.
The controversy was further fueled with reports that the government was holding Fonseca against his will. However, at a press conference that afternoon, government ministers denied this and gave explanations for such heavy security in the area.
I want to very clearly, very categorically, for the record, tell you on behalf of the government that as of now, candidate Fonseca is free to go anywhere he wants to. He is not under house arrest. He can move out of the hotel anytime that he wants to. As a result of these very special circumstances, there's obviously security there, but the security is outside the perimeters of the hotel. They are not inside the hotel, and as I mentioned earlier, this is a high security zone, and that's an independent decision that our security forces have taken to ensure law and order and peace in this country.
The controversy seems only to have increased following the announcement of the results. Just days ago, at a media conference, General Fonseca announced that the election had not been won fairly, alleging irregularities in the ballot counting process and the intimidation of opposition counting agents in some districts.
If they won it as per the result, then they don't have to do all these unruly illegal things. Trying to neutralize the opponents, trying to arrest the opponents, and the people are being arrested, no documentation given. People are not allowed to go and make entries in the police station. People are not allowed to go to courts. All the human rights are being violated. So the situation is that now.
A revengeful political battle appears imminent, but for now, the election results stand. President Rajapaksa has won, and with an impressive margin of 1.84 million. Whatever the suspicions of the opposition and its supporters, there are many who feel that Rajapaksa's renewed term is what is best for the country, and who still believe that he will deliver on his past election promises.
අපි පෞද්ගලික කිසිම දෙයක් බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ. අපි බලාපොරොත්තු එකම දෙයයි. මේ රටේ රට සංවර්ධනය කරලා මේ රටේ අනාගත පරපුරට යහපත් දේශයක්, නිදහස් දේශයක්, යහපත් දේශයක් ආය කවදාවත් යුද්ධයක් ඇති වෙන්න ඕන තත්ත්වෙට මේ රට පත් කරන්න තමයි අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ. විධායක බලතල අපේ ජනාධිපතිතුමා කිව්වා විධායක බලතල තව ඉදිරියේදී ඔහු ඒ සංශෝධනය කරනවා කියලා. මොකද සියලු දෙනාම එකතු වෙලා කැබිනට් මණ්ඩලයත් එකතු වෙලා විධායක බලතල සංශෝධනය කරනවා කියලා. ඒකින් දැන් අපේ ජනාධිපතිතුමා හරිම අවංක හිතවත් ජනතාවට ආදරේ පොඩි මිනිහට ආදරේ පුද්ගලයෙක් නිසා අපි හිතන්නේ ජීවිතේරවක්වත් ජනාධිපතිතුමා ඒ වගේ දේවල් කරයි කියලා. එතුමාගේ බලතල කියන්නේ විධායක බලතල තිබ්බට විධායක බලතල කවදාකවත් පාවිච්චි කරලා නැහැ. ඒ කියන්නේ මුළු ජනතාවම දන්නවා විධායක බලතල පාවිච්චි කරලා ඉස්සෙල්ලා හිටපු ජනාධිපතිගොල්ලෝ වගේ විධායක බලතල කවදාවත් කිව්වත් කරනවා කෙරුවත් කරනවා.
Charges of intimidation, violence, abuse and misuse of government resources, particularly the state-owned media, as well as alleged vote rigging, have dogged the election process. But unless these accusations can be proved, the final result remains and is, therefore, what the people must accept. Whatever the path ahead for President Rajapaksa and his government, it is clear that they will have to work towards reassuring not only those who voted for them, but perhaps especially those who voted against them.
In this respect, I think now that we have achieved both a peace and a stunning personal electoral victory for the President, it will be possible for him to move forward very quickly. He has already given some indications of the direction in which he wants to move. He has confirmed the commitment of the government to the 13th Amendment and added areas where he believes it can be expanded, but in a way that will not threaten the unity of the country. I think particularly important is something he has advanced, which no one seems to have thought of in the past, which is a second chamber that strengthens the power of the periphery of the country at the center. He has also addressed what I would call endemic questions that have dogged this country ever since we got this ridiculous system of elections, a system that I think encourages corruption and waste and infighting and violence. But he has also been talking about a first-past-the-post system, which will give MPs a real role in developing particular electorates. He has also accepted that a first-past-the-post system by itself can be unfair, and therefore he has made clear the need for elements of proportionality and safeguarding the rights and the representation of minorities all over the country. And I think this approach also shows an advance in terms of the sensitivity to all requirements in every direction.